All right, quick tip for you guys that are having a hard time finding the dot on the way out of your presentation. First thing is, stop looking for the dot. Look at a spot on the target that you're trying to hit and simply lift the gun in front of your face. If you do any sort of like weird mechanics where you're like, hey, I'm gonna draw up here to my eye line, yup, there's the dot, and then start pushing out like that, a couple things. This is gonna be mega slow because it's inefficient because you're drawing an L instead of a straight line. More on that later. And the next thing is you're gonna be dot focused rather than target focused. Red dots are made to be target focused, not dot focused, meaning that the target, the spot that you're trying to be hit should be crystal clear. The dot should be blurry and superimposed in the background to infinity. Doesn't matter what distance you're at, okay? Target focused, not dot focused. So look at the spot that you're trying to hit. Don't look for the dot. The next thing is I see people doing some super weird mechanics, especially from outside the waistband. I'll talk about from inside the waistband too here in a second, but from outside the waistband, you'll hear people say, hey, I want my support hand to catch the gun where my natural clap is, right? So for me, that's like right here. Okay, so if I did that, the gun would have to come up, over, and then out like that. A couple problems with that. First one, the gun is doing like this weird zigzag thing for a presentation. The gun is not pointed at the target until like you're here. And a lot of the time, if you catch the gun way up here like this, you're going to be pointed over the target. Still not a good idea, right? I want the gun to be pointed at the target sooner rather than later because I need the dot to show up on the spot that I'm looking. Any other path that the gun travels other than a straight line, to me, is inefficient. So, inside the waistband, same exact thing. Like you'll see dudes, hey, catch where my natural clap is. Then I catch up here like this. The gun is pointed over top of the target and then I somehow try to have to drop it down. To me, it's inefficient because it's not a straight line. The gun is not going to show up on the spot that you're looking and you're gonna, quote unquote, try to find the dot somewhere in that presentation. Bad deal, right? The next thing that's wrong with trying to catch the gun where your natural clap is, I only have from here to build a good grip. This grip greatly affects your index, okay? In other words, a good index, you're gonna find your dot every time. A poor index, you're gonna have a hard time finding the dot every time. So what I would recommend is trying to draw a straight line from the holster to the target. For my outside the waistband draw, I want both hands to move to the gun at the exact same time, and I simply lift the gun in front of my face. Notice how that's a straight line, and the gun doesn't do any of that stuff, okay? It looks something like this. Straight line, straight to my eye line. Same exact thing from outside the waistband, right? I would just draw like this, and then as soon as my support hand gets on the gun, way sooner, because I wanna build a grip sooner rather than later, all I do is just lift the gun in front of my face. So from the side, okay, it would look something like this. Okay. Notice how the gun presents flat. From inside the waistband, I would try to push my shirt back down behind the gun. It's gonna do a couple things. Number one, my thumb is not gonna get caught on my shirt like we see a lot of because I'm pushing it back down behind the gun. Number two is if this support hand comes back down, I can catch the gun way sooner, build a grip way sooner, have the exact grip that I want, and then I can present the gun nice and flat. So for your presentation, some of the principles that I would try to look for is I need a really good grip, like way sooner rather than later. The more time I have to build a grip, the better my grip is going to be and the better the index is going to be. The second principle is look to a spot and just lift the gun nice and easy in front of your face and try to make the dot appear there. If you are still having a problem finding the dot, the answer is not to go faster, right? You'll see dudes like, oh man, I didn't find the dot and they're doing this weird thing. Like maybe speed should just go away for a second so you can build a proper index, okay? Find your dot, yep, there it is. Proper index, yep, there it is. Focus on a proper index instead of trying to find the dot, all right? That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully that helps.